Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Nati Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Vivaradari Jaya Gopi Vallabha Vivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Jai Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jai Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jai Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jai Jai Radha Vallabha, Radha Vallabha, Shri Radhe, Jai Radha. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Nitai Gaur Hari Bo. Jam Vishnupada Paramsa Pariyajaka Stotra Sutta Sri His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jam Vishnupada Paramsa Pariyajaka Stotra Sutta Sri His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki. Grandhara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, entitled Hiranyakashipu Terrorizes the Universe, text number 30. Tasya daitya pate putras chatvara paramadbhuta prahradho abhun mahamstesham Gunair mahad upasakaha tasya daitya pate putras chatvara paramadbhuta prahradho abhun mahamstesham Gunair mahad upasakaha Tasya Daityapate Putra Chatvara Paramadbhuta Prahrado Abhun Mahamstesham Gunair Mahad Upasaka Tasya Daityapate Putra Chatvara Paramadbhuta Prahrado Bhun Mahamtesham Gunair Mahan Upasaka Tasya Daitya Chatvara Paramadbhuta Prahrado Bhun Mahamtesham Mataji. Tasya Daitye Prathe Putra Chatvara Paramadbhuta Prahrado Bhun Mahamstesham Gunair Mahad Upasaka Tasya Daitya Pate Putra Dhatvara Paramadbhuta Prahrado Bhun Mahastesham Gunair Mahad Upasaka Tasya of him Hiranyakashipu Daityapathe the king of the Daityas Putra sons Chatvara 4 Paramadbhuta very qualified and wonderful Prahrada the one named Prahrada Adbhuta was Mahan the greatest Tesham of all of them Gunai with transcendental qualities Mahat Upasaka being an unalloyed devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki translation. Hiranyakashipu had 4 wonderful, well-qualified sons, of whom the one named Prahlada was the best. Indeed, Prahlada was a reservoir of all the transcendental qualities because he was an unalloyed devotee of the personality of Godhead. Purport. Yasya asti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunestatra samashate sura. In one who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifest. Bhagavatam 5.18.12. Prahlad Maharaj is praised herein for having all good qualities because of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, a pure devotee who has no motives but all good qualities, material and spiritual. If one is spiritually advanced, being a staunch, liberal devotee of the Lord, all good qualities are manifest in his body. On the other hand, harava bhaktasya kuto mahad guna. If one is not a devotee, even if he has some materially good qualities, they have no value. That is the verdict of the Vedas. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. एवांच कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. Seek blessings from all of you to speak on Śrīmad Bhāgavatam for my own purification and in the glorification of their lordships. It's very wonderful verse, and entire Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is so beautiful. And Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, as it is mentioned in the first three verses and the third verse, is a ripened fruit of the Vedic literature. So you bite any side, anywhere, any word, any small syllable also of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is so nectarian and so sweet and so pleasing to the heart. So you may ask, how come it is so nectarian? Just now we read Hiranyakashipu's atrocities, how he was terrorizing. But as in a previous few classes ago, Gopalandesh Prabhu was mentioning how Kunti Maharani was praying for calamities, because wherever there is calamities, we get an opportunity. Of course, we should meditate and think of the Lord always, but in the calamities one will think. And we also see how Lord protects His devotees at each and every stage of their devotional progress. And that's why Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is literary incarnation of the Lord. That's why anywhere you touch, anywhere you read is nectarian. It's very sweet. And that sweetness manifests depends on the person's ability and caliber. It's like if somebody has a jaundice. Anybody got jaundice before? I got once. Your tongue is very bitter. It's very bitter. Anything you eat, put on the tongue, that tastes bitter. Even the rasgulla you put bitter, although it is very sweet. Sugarcane juice you put, it's very sweet, sugarcane juice. But still, when the person is going through jaundice, he feels very bitterness. Because it's not because the sugar is bitter, that's why he is sensing bitterness. It's because the person is having a disease. Because of that, he is sensing that sugarcane juice also bitter. So similarly, a living entity, when he is in the conditioned state, although transcendental name, form, pastimes of the Lord are sweet, but he doesn't taste it. Why? Because of that material disease, jaundice. But what is the cure for jaundice? Shastra says, from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu we learn, the sugarcane juice itself is the remedy for curing the jaundice. As he continuously takes that sugarcane juice, at one certain point, that bitterness will go, that disease will go, he will feel, he will taste, he will experience the sweetness. Similarly, hearing of the holy name, hearing of the pastimes of the Lord, hearing of His form, seeing His beautiful, three-bending form, that's the only remedy for material disease. So as we continue that process, our bitterness in hearing the transcendental name, form, qualities of the Lord will go away, and the sweet nectarian taste will gradually come. It's a gradual process. It's not just an overnight process. And how much you taste depends on how much you put your sincerity and practice. So that's very important. Here in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, in this verse mentioned, Hiranyakashipu, the Daityapate, he is not Devapate, he is Daityapate, the king of the demons. He has 4 not transcendental sons, powerful sons, wonderful sons. Among them, one is transcendental son. Who is that? Prahlad Maharaj. He is the youngest. Hiranyakashipu has 4 sons. So the 4 sons' names are Samhlada, Anuhlada, Hlada, and Prahlada. So out of these 4 sons, why only one son is glorified in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam? Because Bhagavatam, why? Very good. So we can see, somebody may wonder, he got a very, considering the birth, taking birth in a low degraded demon family is very, very, abominable, isn't it? Imagine somebody got a birth in a family where day and night, meat eating day and night, performing all the sinful activities. In that situation, what is an opportunity for me to become a devotee? Somebody may ask. But here is the example. Somebody may take birth in a very abominable conditional family or very low degraded family. But still, bhakti is equal for everybody to develop. It doesn't depend on our external circumstances, where you develop your devotional service, where you become a devotee. It doesn't depend on the place where you take birth. It depends on how you take the process. So that's where we have the best example in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So bhakti can sprout even in very unfavorable situations. So what is the possibility for Prahlad Maharaj? Only one possibility, that association with the pure devotee, Srila Narada Muni. So that little bit association, yesterday Keshav Prabhu mentioned very nicely, lava matra. So what is lava? What is the measurement of lava? 1/12 of a second. So just a blink of eye. And Prabhu very nicely explained how a devotee, one priest become a devotee in the airport just by Srila Prabhupada's glances. So that's the potency of bhakti. So even lava matra, what is the lava matra means? Second. So the smallest portion of the time measurement is second, as far as we know. But even 1/12 of the second, a little fraction of association with the pure devotees, that's transforming the heart of any person. So Prahlad Maharaj got that opportunity in very unfavorable situations, although he happened to take birth in Hiranyakashipu's family. Whereas other 3 didn't get that opportunity. And we see how Narada Muni transformed lives of so many people. In the entire Śrīmad Bhāgavatam we see. So Narada Muni, even in Chaitanya Charitamrita we read, he gave his association to Mrugari, one who is a hunter. He is in the middle of the forest and his occupation was killing, but association with Narada Muni transformed him. Association with the holy name and the process transformed that Mrugari to a great devotee. And same thing we see, association of Narada Muni to so many people in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So as a devotees, practitioners, sadhakas, our main focus is to purify ourselves and to spread and give our association. Our association is to bring the Lord's association to the people whomever we met. So it may be through chanting holy name, Harinam, it may be through prasadam, it may be through book distribution, it may be anything. Even, you speak to somebody,
just listen to them. That much is enough. Because people want to be listened. People want to share their heart. So as a devotee, we have to be available for them. We just have to be available for them. So that momentary association will change. I remember I used to go every Wednesday to distribute prasadam at Port Melbourne Centre Council. There, I was very new. It was 8-9 years ago. I was very new. Every Wednesday I used to go after my work. And there, one family used to come regularly. One Mataji, she has 2 children, one daughter, one son. And that son, he was on the pram. He cannot able to speak because he cannot able to hear. If you cannot able to hear, you cannot able to speak. Even for our preaching is very important. Hearing is important. What you hear, you will speak. And this person cannot able to, and he has mental challenges. He cannot able to, perceive what is happening around him. And even so, I was going for prasadam distribution. Somehow his mother feeds him. That's the only opportunity he has. So I was asking a devotee, what is an opportunity for him to chant the holy name? And what is an opportunity for him to hear the holy name? Because he cannot able to hear, because of that he cannot able to speak. And Bhakti-Sar Prabhu, I asked, and Prabhu told me, it doesn't matter. He got an opportunity to eat and he got an opportunity to see you, devotee. So seeing a devotee is very, very rare opportunity a material person can get, seeing a devotee. So that's the only hope. So even just by seeing a devotee, Srila Prabhupada's mercy, because in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Swami explains, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains, he says, who is the topmost Vaishnava? Who is the great Vaishnava? By seeing a Vaishnava, if one chants the holy name, he is considered the most qualified, correct? And Srila Prabhupada mercy, he made all the ISKCON devotees in that category. Because anywhere you go with a tilak and kanti, people immediately say, oh, you Hare Krishnas. Even remote corner you go, you Hare Krishnas. Immediately it reminds them, correct? Although it may not be because of our personal devotion, but just by outer look, one will be reminded of the holy name, Krishna. So this mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And here in this verse, yes, by external dress and attire, we look like devotee. But here in this verse it's mentioned, Prahlad was a reservoir of all transcendental qualities. What actually, gives us that credit we are devotee is the qualities which we develop. So what is the difference between a demon and a devotee? What is the difference between a demon and devotee? Okay. But there are some demons mentioned in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. They have very good qualities. Yes. With the dress? But dress is external. But what is the main quality? Yes. Yes. That's the main thing. Vishnu Bhakta Bhavedaiva Asuriva Vivarchita. So only the devotee is the one who is Vishnu Bhakta. So one who always meditating, worshipping, serving the Supreme Lord. So Vishnu Bhakta, in the Shastra it is not mentioned any Bhakta. Vishnu Bhakta Bhavedaiva. So only the devotee of Krishna or Vishnu is a divine person. Why not others? Other devotees? Because we have seen so many in the scriptures. There are so many upasakas. So many upasakas. Upasakas of Lord Shiva, upasaka of Kali, upasaka of so many. Even Hiranyakashipu, he is a devotee of whom? Brahma. But he is mentioned here, Daityapati. He is not mentioned as Deva. He is not devotee. Of course, he is devotee of Brahma, but he is considered as demon. Why? Because he is not accepting the supremacy of the Lord Krishna or Vishnu. So that's why only the Vishnu Bhakta becomes. Why we will discuss that. Because in the scriptures it is mentioned, what is the position of the living entity? Who are the living entity? We are the living entity. So are we body or the spirit soul? We are not just this body, correct? We are spirit soul. What is the difference between the spirit soul, the existence of the spirit soul in the body? The moment we are living, that is the symptom, correct? What is the difference between a dead body and the living body? So soul, correct? So we are not, when the soul leaves the body, it is called dead. When the soul is present in the body, it is called alive, correct? So the difference is the spirit soul. So we are spirit soul. The spirit soul, say for example, clouds are there. So when they rain, the rainwater comes down. So rainwater is pure. The spirit soul is pure. The moment the rainwater touches the ground, it becomes muddy. So similarly, the spirit soul, when it comes into these 8.4 million varieties of species, so among them, human species one. So when the spirit soul comes into the material body, conditioning applies. So he identifies with the material body. He identifies, oh, I am a male, I am a female, I am animal, I am this, I am that, with different categories. But the spirit soul is like a pure water. But what is the process to purify that muddy water? You will put different chemicals or the sedation, a different process. Similarly, the living entity who are in the conditioned state, when they undergo the process of bhakti, so they come to their original position. And it is mentioned in the scriptures. The living entity, Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas, is not the das of any other person. Krishnera Nityadas. But in the conditioned state, we identify with so many designations. So, in here it is mentioned, Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana Sarvair Gunestatra Samashate Sura. So, when the living entity, when the jiva, when he becomes Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati, when he becomes the devotee, he acquires all the good qualities of Sura, demigods. So, who are the demigods? So, demigods are the universal in charges of different, like in the state, in the country, we have so many ministers. And ministers, they look after different ministries. So like irrigation department is there, we have electricity department is there, foreign affairs department is there. Like that, depends on the country, their ministries will expand. I really don't know much politics, how many ministries are there in different country, but depends on the country, it's there. And consider the universe. We have so many departments. So even to blink an eye, there is a department. To supply food, there is a department. So to supply water, the department. Who was the in charge for supplying rains? Indra. For heat, Agni. So like that, different departments are there. And like that, to destroy the universe at the end, who is the in charge for that? Lord Shiva is the in charge. So it depends on the department, the different in charges are there. And where the scriptures mentions worship of these different demigods for acquiring benefits from them. One who is in the first class, I remember when I was studying, all my friends are elder to me, much elder, 5-6 years elder. They are all in 10th grade, 8th grade, 6th grade. I was 4th grade. That day, I still remember, I just learned, A plus B whole square formula. So I was feeling that, I know all the mathematics. I went to my friends and told, I know all the mathematics, I learned this A plus B whole square. But those who are already in 10th standard, they already know all these formulas and everything. 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, all these things they know. Similarly, Vedic scriptures, when somebody follows, immediately what Vedas give? You worship Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and then finally come to Upasana Kanda. So in the beginning section, it talks about Karma Kanda, worship of doing different puja rituals. But that is like elementary education of the Vedas. And little bit you go ahead. So that talks about Jnana Kanda. And when you go to 10th standard, Upasana Kanda, and you go to PhD, end of the Upasana Kanda, worshipping of Krishna will start. But in the beginning, you may see worshipping of different demigods. But that's not the end. That is beginning only. But that worshipping of different demigods should bring you to the ultimate, worshipping of Vishnu or Krishna. So that is why here it is mentioned, because all these different in charges, so like all the ministries have a top person, that is Prime Minister or the President, depends on the country. So similarly, you see all these ministers have a top person. And above the top person, who is the top person for all these ministries we have in the universal in charge? That is Brahma. So even above Brahma is Vishnu's. Even above that is Krishna. So that is the position, just to understand, a very generic way. So when a person becomes the devotee of that Supreme Lord, he acquires all the good qualities of these various demigods. But these demigods sometimes may be devotees of the Lord or may not be devotees of the Lord. So becoming a devotee even surpasses the quality of the demigods, becoming a pure devotee. So that's what we see. Say for example, Indra, although he is a demigod, but still he tried to destroy Vrindavana devotees. Correct? That's it. And here it is mentioned, all the good qualities. What are the qualities in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Bhagavad Gita, the qualities of a pure devotee mentioned. Say for example, in the 12th chapter of Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita, devotional service, it is mentioned, one who is, Krishna is telling, one who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So these are the qualities. And not just that, Krishna continues. He by whom no one is put into difficulty. So that is one of the qualities. Who is not disturbed by anyone. Who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. My devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. And Krishna further says, one who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. Such a devotee is very dear to me. What is that? Renouncing auspicious and inauspicious things. Means not considering, I will follow this ritual, that ritual, or that. No, whatever is favorable for my bhakti, whatever pleases to Krishna, I will do it. For outside it may be inauspicious, people thinking that, but still I do because it pleases Krishna. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with everything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, and who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. And in the last verse, Krishna reveals his heart. You may possess all these qualities or may not possess all these qualities. But if this is there, Krishna tells, very, very dear. Let's hear. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. So if anybody want to become very, very dear to Krishna, here is the secret. Make Krishna as the supreme goal. He says, those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engages themselves with faith and making me the supreme goal. So our whole life should be centered around to make Krishna the supreme goal. So no other things, the supreme goal. And Śrīmad Bhāgavatam again and again emphasizes on this point. So our only purpose in existence in this world is to revive our lost relationship with Krishna. So that is engaging in pure devotional service. So as we know, devotional service means what? So devotional service is the 9 different processes. So Prahlad Maharaj engages, tells us. So that is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So these are the 9 different processes. So that process begins with Shravanam and Kirtanam. So that starts with the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that's the first thing. And hearing about the glories and pastimes of the Lord, hearing the holy name of the Lord. So that is the beginning of devotional service. And along with the association of devotees, and as you come regularly to the temple, you will engage in other different processes. And here it is mentioned, Harava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna. So whereas a person who is not a devotee, although he has so many other qualities, but he is considered demon. So it is like that. In India we see dead bodies. So when the dead body is taken into the procession, so before that what they do, they decorate the dead body with different ornaments, and sometimes we see the low class people, when they pass away, they put the suit, they put the Ray-Ban glasses, necklaces, jewelry, everything. They decorate and take the dead body on the procession. The Shastra says, Apranasya dehasya mandanam lokaranjanam. So all this decoration of these different ornaments, mandanam lokaranjanam. So even if somebody has all the good qualities, but he is not a devotee of the Lord, it's just like decoration of the dead body. So one may have very high education, one may have nice bangla, super car, 10 million bangla, Jaguar, whatever he may have, but he is not a devotee of the Lord. So all his well-education, PhD, or whatever bank balance, he may be the richest person in the world, but he is not a devotee. He is mandanam lokaranjanam, just decoration of the dead body. So what actually life to a person, living entity, is not just breathing. The real life is becoming a devotee, chanting. Chanting is the life to a person. So that should be our breath. And remaining all, what highest position we may get in the material world? What highest position we may go? So somebody may become, richest person. So considering in the current world, earning the money is the only goal. Recently I went to India. Anywhere I go, because I was traveling in saffron, dhoti and kurta, all the way, in the train, everywhere. Because people say, what happened to you? You're looking so, of course, grey hair, but still considered young. You're supposed to be working. They ask, I tell, relatives ask, I live in Australia. Oh, which company you work for? How much you earn? This is how. Do you have how many bungalows, how many cars? Because you well settled, you are successful in life means people think how much bank balance you have. The misfortune of the current world is only seeing the numbers you feel, I have this much balance. You cannot even see. And people consider having a good job, high pay salary, having a nice bungalow, nice cars. They think this is the life. Somebody may become Elon Musk. How long he will last for? So like that, so many people have come and gone. All these, if you see from the aeroplane, all the land becomes very tiny, correct? And if you see from the ground, from this distance, have you seen ant hills? Ant hills, you seen? They always go here and there, rushing here and there. If you carefully observe, they carry some particles, work for somebody. They also have queen ant, king ant, they have colonies. So all those, they also have. And they have very sophisticated, even compared to our architecture and other things. And they also work very hard, always going here and there, carrying so many things. And when they get some sweet, they think, oh, I achieved. I got incentive, I got new job, I got PR. Achieved. But if you see from the demigod's point of view, they are just ants. We are just ants. Like when you see, they are just ants. You laugh at them. You put some obstacle, they go from this side, they go from that side. You think how they are suffering. And you think, oh, foolish ant, he's just working for this little thing. It's nothing for me. Demigods think like that when they see. From that point, look at this human being. How he is struggling, how he is working. He thinks he is the richest person. He thinks he become the world's famous. But they think, oh, it's nothing. But when one becomes a devotee, they themselves come to shake them, to impede them. If somebody is doing tapasya, they come and disturb them because they also feel they are competing for me. But if somebody is becoming devotee, everybody is happy, nobody becomes envy. Of course, here demons becomes envy. So, all the possessions, all the qualities, all the things without bhakti is just decoration of a dead body. And Śrīmad Bhāgavatam even uses very, very harsh words sometimes. It says, if somebody born and he did not become a devotee, it is mentions he just came out like a stool from mother. It's very heavy. But that's true actually. No, that's true. So the only purpose of this material world, material existence, is to revive our lost Krishna consciousness and become a devotee and go back and being in our original position. So when one becomes devotee, it doesn't matter, all the good qualities will come. And Krishna also tells, Apichesu duracharo bhajate mam ananyabhak. So he becomes a sadhu. He gets all the qualities. So, what brings all the qualities? Bhakti brings all the qualities. Our chanting brings all the qualities. So, it's like the famous example. So, you put the iron rod in the fire. Iron rod, initially, it is not fire. But you constantly put the iron rod in the fire. After some time, it acquires the quality of the fire and it acts same as a fire. All the qualities of fire comes in that iron. Similarly, when we engage constantly in devotional service, Krishna has all the qualities. So all those qualities will reflect in us. But he has 64 qualities in full, as deep as the ocean. But we may not get. Even the little quality will magnify us. So devotee is like a gold, and all the different qualities are like a diamonds. So when they both combine, looks very wonderful. Similarly, a devotee, a living entity with devotional qualities, when he develops, that's the best combination. So otherwise, it's just decoration. So we don't want that decoration on our dead body. So our body should have decoration of devotional qualities, decoration of the holy name, decoration of the name, form, pastimes of the Lord. in our entire consciousness. That's the only purpose. So that is why, although Prahlad Maharaj got birth in a demoniac family, he is glorified, and we are spending so much time from so many years, so many great devotees spend time reading Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, reading about Prahlad Maharaj, and glorified him for only one thing, because he is a great devotee of the Lord. So if at all we want any glory, so in the conversation between Ramananda Roy and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so Ramananda Roy says, so what is a glory of a person? What is the glory of a person? Recognized as a great devotee. So that's the only glory. Remaining all, history will erase. History will erase all the things what we did. So only one will remain, that is becoming a great devotee. So developing a great devotee. And the process works. So what is the evidence that process works? Every one of us. How we were like broken pieces of the glass, and how we are now, and how we were chasing those broken pieces, and how even the momentary thought that I have so many desires, I have so much anarthas, but I want to get purified. Krishna ticks that. Krishna ticks that. Okay, he wants to become. So he makes arrangements for that. But we have to be very cautious, not thinking that, oh, I practice devotional service, but why these things happened, that thing happened. So, but a devotee will always think, anything happened, no tattenu kampam susamiksa marina bhunjina evatma krutam vipakam. So all the bad things happened because I did something wrong in my past life. And Krishna is very merciful, he reduced the quota and gave me this. So that is the attitude which one should carry forward in bhakti life. So then Brahmaji, he says, so then the devotee, he becomes the rightful heir to attain the lotus feet of the Lord. So similarly, when we follow in that attitude, whatever happens, I will not stop my devotional service. So all the ups and downs, gain and loss, happiness, distress, happening. So that's what in Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter Krishna mentioned. Happiness, distress, loss, gain, infamy or fame. I will continue my sadhana. I will continue my devotional service. So it is not to please me, it is to please Krishna and Guru and Vaishnavas. So I will continue that. So that should be the aim. So then, that's the success of life. Otherwise, there is no other success in this world. So real success is becoming a devotee. And real success is able to observe in chanting the holy names of the Lord, able to observe in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, able to take proper association of the devotees. So that's the only gain, only success in this world. So remaining all like ants. Okay, I'll stop here. I'll take if there are any questions or comments or corrections.
Prabhu, you mentioned before about how not all demigods are devotees. I know obviously Hiranyakash, well, he's actually, but yeah, is there any examples of demigods that are not, because I was under the impression that all demigods were devotees of Krishna and they was doing the work for Krishna.
Yeah, they are rendering their duty. So our Brahma in this universe is a devotee, but there are innumerable universes. They may not be devotee. So the moment living entity came to this material world, is to enjoy separately from the Lord. But in that, some are devotees, some are not. That's why. Go
So
for
you-
Prabhu. Any?
Generally, the demigods are devotees, but the problem is whether they are pure devotees or not.
Yeah.
So, Brahma of this universe is a pure devotee, as we know, and other universes may not be pure devotee, but generally they all accept Krishna, or they are God conscious in that sense. May not be pure, but they are not demons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aradhya. Mike.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you
Hare
for the
Krishna.
wonderful class. I have one question. Like, as you were saying that, like, it's that the difference between demigods and demons is that they don't think about Krishna. Demons don't think about Krishna, whereas devotees worship Krishna, think about Krishna and do it all the day. But if we see that about Vritrasura, like how he was a devotee in his previous life, and he did a mistake, and then he became a demon. And he was at the last moments, we were seeing that when Indra was trying to cut his neck, then he was talking about the glories about the Lord, and he was saying, please do it, because I want to go to the Lord, I want to see the Lord. So can you please explain how this works?
Vritrasura is very nice question. Vritrasura case is exceptional in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and he is a devotee in the demon's body. And who was Vritrasura in his previous life? Chitraketu Maharaj. And he got cursed. But he accepted that curse as the mercy of the Supreme Lord. But the mercy of the Supreme Lord, even though he is in a demon's body, he did not forget his devotional service. So that's why even when he was fighting, he encourages Indra, you kill me, it's already destined. So you just kill me. And we saw the famous prayers of Vritrasura also. So that's the mercy of the Lord. And he was praying like a calf, always waiting for his mother, and like a wife waiting for her husband. Like that, he mentions so many analogies. So he wants to think about the Lord. That's the mercy of the Lord. Although he became a demon, but he was always thinking about the Supreme Lord. That's why we glorify Vritrasura. Although it's not his activity, but it's arrangement of the Lord.
Yeah, and also Kamsa was thinking about the Lord day and night. So like, was that also the Lord's mercy, or was that because he was, like, of course he was envious of the Lord and he wanted to kill the Lord. But in that way he was thinking of the Lord day and night. So is it the will of the Lord, or like especially the will of the Lord, or
Kamsa was thinking enviously, inimical way. So that is why we don't consider him as devotee. Although he is day and night thinking of Krishna, but still he is not devotee, because he is not doing favorable devotional service. He is not thinking about Krishna, not in a favorable way, opposite way. That's why.
Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Any other comments, questions, corrections? Okay. We'll stop here. Grandhara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.